In 2026, millions of Americans are asking the same question. Is buying a home still the American dream? Or has renting quietly become the smarter financial move? Mortgage rates are still elevated. Home prices feel out of reach. And rents, while high, sometimes look cheap compared to a mortgage payment. Some people say, if you're renting, you're throwing money away. Others say, buying right now is financial suicide, so who's right? In this video, we're going to cut through the emotions, the outdated advice, and the social pressure, and look at real numbers, real scenarios, and real outcomes. By the end, you'll know exactly when renting saves you more, when buying makes sense, and how to decide based on your situation, not someone else's opinion. The 2026 Housing RAL Lite, why to understand the rent versus buy decision in 2026. We need to understand the environment we're in. The housing market today is very different from 2020 or 2021. Back then, mortgage rates were near historic lows, prices were rising rapidly. Buying almost always looked like a win, but in 2026, mortgage rates remain well above pre-2020 levels. Home prices in many cities are flat or slowly growing. Affordability is near multi-decade lows in many U.S. cities. The monthly cost of owning a home is now 40 to 70% higher than renting the same property. That alone changes the math. The biggest mistake people make is using old advice in a new market. And in 2026, the right decision is less about emotion and more about time, cash flow, and opportunity cost, the true cost of BUI and Gellet. Start with buying. Most people look at just one number, the mortgage payment. But that's only part of the story. When you buy a home, your true monthly cost includes principal and interest, property taxes, homeowner's insurance, HOA fees. If applicable, then come the hidden costs: maintenance, repairs, appliances, roofs, plumbing, ISHVAS. On average, homeowners spend 1 to 3% of the home's value every year just on maintenance. Then there's the upfront cost, down payment, closing costs, moving expenses, sand. Finally, the cost nobody talks about, opportunity cost. That down payment, often tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, could have been invested elsewhere. Buying a home doesn't just cost money. It locks money up when buying makes sense. Now, buying isn't bad, it just has conditions. Buying makes financial sense in 2026 if you plan to stay in the home at least 5 to 7 years. You have a stable income and job security. Your total housing cost is no more than 30 to 35% of your gross income. You want long-term stability and predictability. The longer you stay, the more closing costs get spread out. Equity builds, market fluctuations matter less. Buying is less about timing the market and more about time in the home. If you're buying for the long haul and can comfortably afford it, ownership can still be a solid move. The real cost of a rention now. Let's talk about renting. Renting is often dismissed as wasted money, but that idea ignores reality. When you rent, you pay a fixed monthly cost. You avoid repair and maintenance expenses. You don't pay property taxes. You keep your capital liquid. Renting gives you flexibility, predictability, lower upfront costs. Yes, rent can increase over time, but so can taxes, insurance, and maintenance costs for homeowners. Renting isn't doing nothing. It's choosing liquidity and flexibility over ownership. When renting saves you a morar in 2026, renting often wins when mortgage payments are far higher than rent. You plan to move within 3 to 5 years. You're early in your career or expecting change. You invest the difference wisely. If renting costs $1,500 and buying costs $2,500, that extra $1,000 doesn't disappear if it's invested consistently. Even at modest returns, it can grow into serious wealth. Renting wins when you value flexibility, you avoid overleveraging, you treat investing seriously. Problem isn't renting. The problem is renting without investing. Side dash by dash side compa sond. Make this concrete. Example. Rent $1,500 per month. Buy $2,500 per month Ellen. That's a $1,000 difference. Invest $1,000 per month at a 6 to 7% annual return. Over 5 years. You could build well over $70,000 with full liquidity, no transaction costs. Meanwhile, home equity grows slowly at first, especially with high interest rates in many markets. Rent plus investing beats buying in the short to medium term. Not always. But often, the 2026 rule of THUMB here is the simplest rule for 2026. If you plan to move within 5 years, rent. If you plan to stay long-term and can afford it, buying may win. Time is the biggest factor. Buying too early, with the wrong timeline, is what turns homes into financial traps. Flexibility has value. Liquidity has value. Peace of mind has value. Common myths. Let's clear up a few myths. Myth number 1. Renting is throwing money away. Reality: renting buys flexibility and frees capital. Myth number 2. Buying is always an investment. Reality: a home is first a place to live, not a guaranteed return. Myth number 3. You must buy to build wealth. Reality: wealth is built through discipline, investing, and time, not ownership alone. The smartest financial decisions are rarely emotional. They're intentional. Final verdict and CTA. So, renting versus buying in 2026. There's no universal answer. The right choice depends on your income, your city, your time horizon. Your financial discipline. Renting is not failure. Buying is not automatic success. The real mistake is choosing without running the numbers. If this helped you, drop a comment with your city, your rent, or mortgage estimate if you want more clear, data-driven finance content like this. Subscribe and watch the next video.